Yeah. Thank you so much for that intro. This is such an honor. My name is Buri, and I wrote down a few words just to, I guess, welcome us all into what this film is and mostly what it means to me. Cheryl Dunye is a world-renowned African-American director, writer, and actor. She first emerged as part of the new queer wave of young filmmakers in the early 1990s. Her feature film, The Watermelon Woman, debuted and won the Teddy Award for Best Feature at the 1996 Berlin International Film Festival. The film is now considered a classic and was restored and re-released in 2016. I believe due to this screening, I've been forgiven by my 16-year-old self for finding this film so late. My bio doesn't tell you anything about the languid, fanciful, closeted, pussy-starved teenager that moved to London in search to be a filmmaker. My bio doesn't tell you about how I realized I was a lesbian, then found this film a few months later. My bio, my poems, my art will have the Watermelon Woman woven through it and through them for all time. Cheryl and I start with the same premise. We want to tell stories about Black women, funny, lesbian Black women. I've decided that I get to say this in front of a group of people. This film sits at a nexus vital for Black African diaspora cinema. In its imperfections and sheer glory, Dunye creates a world full of tools and instruction. This film has served as a reference point and as a signifier to how important it is to dream and to write the family into so-called canon and history. Every time I think I need permission for something, I think of The Watermelon Woman. To close and open and introduce this film, I wanted to read a poem by Zoe Leonard that I'm sure everybody knows. I've kind of tweaked parts of it due to certain events that may or may not be occurring as we speak. I want a dyke for Prime Minister. I want a person with AIDS for Prime Minister. I want a fag for Vice Prime Minister, and I want someone with no health insurance, and I want someone who grew up in a place where the earth is so saturated with toxic waste that they didn't have a choice about getting leukemia. I want a Prime Minister who's had an abortion. I want a candidate who isn't the lesser of two evils. And I want a Prime Minister who lost their lover to AIDS, who still sees that in their eyes every time they lay down to rest, who held their lover in their arms and knew that they were dying. I want a Prime Minister who went to state school, a PM who stood in line at A&E, at the job centre, has been unemployed, sexually harassed and laid off, and gay bashed and deported. I want someone who spent the night in the tombs and had a cross burned at their lawn and survived rape. I want someone who has been in love. I want someone who's been hurt, who respects sex, who has made mistakes and learned from them. I want a Black woman for Prime Minister. No, I don't. I want someone with bad teeth and an attitude. I want someone who's eaten that nasty hospital food. I want someone who cross-dresses and someone who's done drugs and been in therapy. I want someone who's committed civil disobedience. And I want to know why this isn't possible. I want to know why we started learning somewhere down the line that a Prime Minister is always a clown, always a John and never a hooker, always a boss and never a worker, always a liar, always a thief and never caught. I would like you all to really enjoy this film, whether it's your first time or the 100th time. Watermelon.